body is so hot from wanting you. I'm spilling by the time we take our clothes off. I want the kind of love that transcends me into another realm. I want you so deep we enter into the spirit world, go from being gentle to rough. I want eye contact. Spread my legs to opposite ends of the room and look with your fingers. I want my soul to be touched by the tip of yours. I want to come out of this room different people. Can you do that? Rupi Kaur.
Wee-hoo.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. We are back. We are back. We are back.
We are not in our will. Two women in our 30s navigating the trials and tribulations of life.
Raw, real, ready to talk.
Episode 2, Season 2. Woo!
I am Steph.
I'm Danny.
And yeah, we are here today to talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's
I've been
talk
singing
about
that all day.
No, I was preparing
Salt
for
and
today.
pepper, baby. Salt and
I
pepper.
was preparing for today. Sex. What does that mean? What are we doing? What are we going to say? What are we going to talk about? You're like, well, I don't know.
I mean, well, let's start off, I guess, with one of your little pointers, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, I got lots of stuff
All
here.
right,
So,
let's do it.
okay. What do you think? Let's start with, do you think that numbers matter?
It depends.
Okay. Wow.
It depends. If you're in like the hundreds, then yeah, maybe
You think that matters?
Yeah.
So for you personally, but do you think it matters on a judgmental kind of scale here?
No, I don't think, no.
It determines who you are?
No, absolutely not. I think everybody, at least our age, goes through like a hoe stage here and there.
I was gonna lie, but clearly the universe like don't
you lie. Don't you lie, bitch. Don't you do it.
I've never had sex a day in my life.
Yeah, okay. Are you like Virgin Mary? That's where your kids came from?
Yes. Duh, that's how it works.
Duh. Yeah, no, I mean, if I was to sleep with somebody who was in like the hundreds, like over 100, I would be a little concerned. For one, like cleanliness. For two, like, do you have a sex addiction that we are not talking about? Is that a thing? Like,
It's true.
I can see getting with like, one partner a bunch of times because we were with them for so long. But like, if over 100 different people, like that, to me seems like a lot of people. That's a lot of dick or V or both or butt, whatever,
But
that's a lot.
yeah, it's funny because I don't really care, but I do care, and I feel like a lot of people are like that. Like, you're like, I don't really.
Yeah.
You kind of care.
But then if you're with somebody who's had sex with more people than you, are you like, oh my God, they're more like...
No, because the last person that I dated had sex with less people than me. And I felt like, wow.
And you were like, you were the one that was like, I'm the most experienced.
But my number's not high at all. But I just, I think that I grew up with such sex being so taboo that once like the number still is like it's a societal in my brain. Like it's been imprinted in my brain that does matter.
Yeah, at a young age, you're pretty much told like, stay away.
Keep it in your pants. Yeah. So for me, I do think, only because it's funny because as I'm getting older, I'm like, I don't care as much, but then I also care for different reasons. So like, I don't know if I would care if the person is giving me everything else. Like, if it was just for sex, you mean? Well, like you were just hooking up with somebody and you knew they had a crazy number. See, that's what I mean. Because then maybe that could come down to like, maybe this person has a sex addiction. Well, this is my issue, right? Like to me, it
may
be somewhat of a red flag, and it's not what I'm looking for in a partner is somebody who's so astronomically like,
just like going out, getting laid all the time
and having this experience. This experience is great and that's fine and all. I don't think I'm gonna. I feel like it's kind of hypocritical to say like I'm not going to judge you because already I am somewhat judging you, being like, wow, you've slept with 40, 50, 60, 70 people.
Yeah. And nowadays too, you got to think, right? People our age, if you're getting into the dating scene, those numbers are more than likely going to be higher than if we were 20.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You got 10 more years on you. if you weren't necessarily with one person for that 10 years.
And again, going off of that, that's where like my, like, you know, it's kind of, but kind of not, because as I'm getting older, I'm also, it's not like the first thing I ask anymore. Like, it's not like I don't,
and that's
if
the
I
thing
find out
too,
later, that's fine.
And as you do get older, maybe you find that you don't want a romantic relationship. You only want the sex part of it, which is also fine for people, right? Because there's so many people who just literally grow old, don't have kids, and just, you know, have a good time doing it.
Finsters. And
they don't have relationships, but they're getting it in.
I mean,
right? They're getting it in.
So like when you were younger, what was sex to you? Like, did first of all, did mom and dad ever give you a sex talk?
Well, I don't think they necessarily gave me a full sex talk, but it wasn't like, shh, can't talk about it. My parents are very, very open, and if I had any questions ever, they would ask them honestly, or they would answer them honestly. So
no, my household, sex who?
Really? Eh?
Like it was one of these things that you you cannot talk about.
Right. I mean, I remember when I got my first boyfriend, I was like 16 years old. Obviously my parents knew we were doing stuff, right? That's around the age that you lose your virginity. Like,
right. Totally. Same.
Yeah. Well, what age were you then?
When I lost my virginity?
Yeah. Wow. Late bloomer. Yeah. I was 16.
I had my first kiss when I was in grade 11. Like
girlfriend.
17 or something.
That's cute. That's so wholesome though.
Is it that one that I turned like a slut? I became a huge skank.
But they, like, you know, I was just seeing this guy, and we had been together for, you know, we ended up dating for 5 years or whatever. But they knew we were doing stuff. Like they're like, we're not dumb. We know what you're doing. You're up in the bedroom, doors shut. Oh yeah. He was allowed to sleep over. Oh. But because they knew it was going to happen anyway. Not right away, but like after a year or so.
But I also think that in your parents, and which I think I'll be the same as well, it's safer in your house.
And that's exactly what they would say. Yeah. They'd be like, we would rather you know what you're doing and you guys be here and be safe than out somewhere else. Yes. So, and then I remember my mom sitting me down and be like, you know, you should probably go on birth control if you're gonna, you know, are you sexually active? Are you guys? And I was like, okay, yeah, kind of, yeah. Wow. And she was like, okay, well, let's get you on some birth control. And like, you know, and it's so funny because my parents were super open and like whatever, no problem. And his parents were a little bit more old school. Amazing, amazing people, lovely people. But I wasn't allowed to sleep. I could sleep over, but I couldn't sleep in his room. You know what I mean? Just like those little things. I remember I went to his cottage once, couldn't sleep in the same room with him. But yet he's sleeping over at my house. Like, we're doing stuff anyway.
Yeah, see, like
we don't have to be sleeping in the same bed to be doing, like, we could do stuff whenever. Like, it's happening.
See, I like just hearing the fact that your parents talked, or your mom probably talked to you about birth control.
My dad was a little bit more like weird about it, but my mom was very open. Yeah,
like, that conversation never happened.
Really?
The most sex talk, and I think it's hilarious, it was when I finally did have a boyfriend, which was at 19. I had my first boyfriend, and I was on my way to go to his house, I guess. And at this point, honestly, like from 19 on, I pretty much never lived at home anymore. I just was a nomad.
Went to school and
I lived at anywhere. And so I was living kind of with him for the most part. And I remember leaving to go, and my mom is walking up the stairs, and she's like, Daniela, just remember, tell him to pull out. And that, I was like, oh, that's the sex, and then just walked up the stairs. I'm like, this is the
thanks,
sex.
Mom. At least she said it. I mean, that's something. But I mean, really, something? The pull out method.
That's what I mean. Like,
in terms of every single method.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't. That
was the and like,
that's funny.
It's funny because even at this age, like at 30, it's still very taboo with my parents.
Really?
Oh, there's no change in that.
My mom and I talk about sex all the time. All of the time now as adults. We sit down and we talk about sex. We talk about relationships.
Does she tell you about, like, does she tell you about her stories with your father? Oh my God.
Well, she doesn't tell me the nitty gritty details, but she always says, like, you know, your dad wants to have it every single day. I'm like, well, good for you.
Does she do it?
Probably.
Oh my!
They're very happy. They're very happy. They're a very happy couple. So.
I remember another time my mom was like, there was one time me and your father had sex when my ex-boyfriend was sleeping on the couch downstairs, and she's like, I'm like, wow, the first time in 17 years. Good for you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. See, like that's my thing. Like I never grew up with affection like that, right? Like they don't really hug or hold, and like it's funny because I was talking with my ex about it as well. And like how I'm not, again, like not so touchy feely. It's not doesn't come that easy to me. And like for him, a good hug is like just means the world for me. I'm like, oh, no, like don't touch me. And I was like, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, with being an Italian, when we go and greet somebody, it's a kiss on the cheek, and it's so robotic.
It's very
that there's
it's just
no
like everybody.
It doesn't matter who you are, and there's no there's no sentiment to it. So you can't tell when someone really needs that hug. You can't tell when someone really needs that kiss or that affection.
It's always that 2 second in and out.
And it's just because it's so you have to do it that there was never like it never felt like a real emotional connection. Right. So I think as I'm getting older, I'm starting to like understand why I'm the way I am.
Wow. And even in like high school too, you think like sex ed, what kind of freaking shit that nothing. They didn't teach you anything.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. So sex in education, first of all, needs to be 10 times better than it actually is.
100%.
Because what it is a joke. First of all.
How about we normalize sex? Because it's something that happens.
Honestly.
It's life.
And especially
that's why you're fucking here. Like, get over it. All these super conservative people.
I don't know why we're here is for sex, but
well, that's why you are physically.
Okay, fair enough.
Here.
I got you. I got what you said.
You
like, I don't think our purpose in life is just to fuck our way through it. I don't think
your
that's
dad's
right.
sperm hit your mom's egg, and you are now sitting on the couch
yes,
beside.
That is why we are here.
I went all science.
Yeah. But like sex and education, man, like. It's crazy because especially with the Roe v. Wade situation and all of that, like we should 100% be increasing the conversation. Like as a parent, I do find it challenging to understand what age is good for what conversations because I'm so honest and so open with my boys. I do openly tell them when I'm on my period, and I've talked to them about that, so they're starting to be aware of that. But to actually talk about,
I honestly think that it would be anywhere from like 14 to 16.
Yeah, I think once they start hitting puberty and we start, but you
got to think, right? Like when did you start thinking other sexes or anybody in general was cute?
Okay, because like I can't use myself as an example because I was such a sheltered child that I'm just like, I feel like
oh, come on.
I thought people were cute.
You didn't play tag and like accidentally.
No,
I've done that.
Of course you did.
Well, like, or like you have kisses and then you have like those stupid little boyfriends when you're like in grade 7 and 8.
No, I do think there was one boy, Matthew Cologne, which I did try to find you just to
She's
creep.
Single.
I am, but I doubt you are because that's just how my life is.
Married with children.
And happy. You're fucking bullshit.
Happy. Fuck you. Matthew Cologne. What kind of last name is that?
Yeah, you stupid. He has no choice in it whatsoever.
No, I'm sorry, whoever you are.
Anyways, I tried to creep him, but I do remember he was my kindergarten like crush. And like we kissed, and my mom used to always be like, oh, they're holding hands, because my mom would volunteer for every fucking thing, so she was always around me all the time in school, so she was watching my every
she was
move.
The PTA mom, the parent committee mom.
She was more so as the helicopter mom.
I just wanted to make sure everything was going okay.
But so I do remember him, but beyond that, like the only time I was really like actively looking, I guess, was high school. Yeah. But I was also like a fat fuck in high school. So,
please.
So nobody wanted me for that. And that's fine. It was no problem because me being who I was so blunt, being like, I have a crush on you. And they'd be like, oh, no. And I'm like, okay.
That's not happening.
Just walk away.
Yeah. Okay. Just like change the subject. Maybe not so much. Bye.
Remember that cartoon we watched? Oh, it's okay.
I remember having little crushes. I actually ended up getting together with one of my very first crushes later on in life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you started that. Was that you that reached out?
Kind of both of us, actually. Because we were like, oh, how you doing? Weird to hear from you. Like one of those Facebook connection type things.
bringing people together. Man.
Yeah. And then we ended up, hanging out and stuff. But yeah.
But yeah, other than crushes, I feel like that's the only thing that school offers in regards to some sort of...
No, like here's a condom, put it on the banana.
See, okay, I remember... So, two things with this. I remember us having these like phys ed health type classes to talk about it. We were supposed to do the condom thing. The lady's like, I didn't bring bananas. So we didn't even do that. I never opened a condom. Like my first condom that I've ever seen or used was at 19 when my ex
honestly
was using it.
You kind of have to, but even still, I don't remember if we did the banana on the condom on the banana thing. I really don't remember if we did. And even if we did, the first time you have sex, you're not remembering, oh yeah, the banana and the condom, that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? Like you're nervous and you're like, oh.
I just let the man handle that.
Yeah, like it's all you.
That's a you thing.
So when you had sex for the first time, was it his first time too?
No.
Oh,
are we going to talk about our first times?
Yeah, like mine was like both
we
of
might
us.
have talked about
it was
this
our
in another
first
episode,
times.
Oh,
so we were both like, eat.
My first time is really funny though.
Is it?
Yeah.
My first time's pretty funny too.
Okay, go ahead. Okay,
so we were at a party, and I'm not going to give too many details, but we had a few drinks. We were like 16 at the time. Sorry, mom and dad. And also sorry to my best friend's parents, but we had sex on their bed.
For your first time?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know why I'm like shocked.
My best friend's parents' bed.
Nice.
Well, they're not together anymore, so I think they probably got rid of the bed anyways. So yoo-hoo! But like, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what? And was it long?
No.
Did it hurt?
No, it didn't hurt. But mind you, the reason why I don't think it hurts is because I think my cherry popped when I was younger. Because no, I'm being serious.
Back riding?
No, I ran and I was about to jump into an in-ground pool, and I fucking scissor landed right on it.
Oh my God.
And I think that's when I popped my cherry. I fell into the pool and like slunk in, like a fucking slug. And I was like, oh my God. I was at a family function and I was like, who the fuck saw that?
Literally everyone?
No, only one cousin. Okay. She looks over. She's like, Steph, are you okay? That looked like that hurt. And I was like, I'm fine. Like pretending pretending to be okay. Yeah. And then I like waddled out of the pool and I'm like, Mom, can you come to the bathroom with me? And I'm like, Mom, I fell on my vagina. And she had to like go down and look. And she's like, yeah, you're bleeding. Like I had a fucking cut.
She looked?
Yeah, she looked at my vagina. She's like, yeah.
Oh my God.
She's like, yeah, you have a cut, honey. Like, we'll get you. Like, I had to wear pads. We had our trip to like Ottawa or whatever, that like in grade 7 or 8 or whatever, we had to go to like Ottawa for a class trip. This was literally like the day before. I had to walk around fucking Ottawa with a cut vagina. But anyways, there's that story. Way off topic. But.
Well, no, you first.
So that's why I don't think my first time hurt, because I popped my cherry falling into a pool.
Okay, my first was with my first boyfriend, obviously, and well, not obviously, so at this point I was 19.
Yeah,
he was friends with all my other friends,
right?
And I remember like telling my one friend Peter, being like, I think I'm just gonna sleep with Ben. No, I don't want to. I think I just want to sleep with him. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, like you probably shouldn't. Like you should wait. Because
I'm so sure Peter said that.
Because I think he did.
Wow.
And I think it's because he realized that Ben maybe was a skis ball and like.
Ooh, he was looking out for you.
But was he though? Because he let all of this happen and stuff. Like I spent a year with this man.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
hello.
Hold on, let me fix that. There we go. So, we ended up starting, and this was before we were dating. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm going to sleep with them. And he's like, maybe not. Like, maybe you should wait.
Wait a bit,
maybe he knew he was going to ask me out or something like that. I don't know what it was. But anyways, we started dating. And at this point, I was so ready. And I fucking
you were 19.
4 days into dating, I'm like, let's do it. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm serious. Yeah. I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad. We did it in the back of our family van.
Nice.
We put all the seats down.
Yeah.
And we did it in the back of the van, and it lasted literally 3 pumps.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was so overly excited.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
And like I literally said those words out loud. I'm like, it's okay. I don't know what happened. It's fine.
Apparently that's what sex
I'm
is.
like, no. I'm like, what did I say? I'm like, it's okay. It really hurt anyways. That's what I said.
Did it hurt you?
It did hurt me.
You were probably very like tense and like.
Yeah, but 3 fucking seconds.
Yeah, usually, you know.
For him, that was not his first time. He's had girlfriends upon girlfriends.
Yeah, but you were a virgin.
That's right.
Guys have that fantasy.
I know.
Gross.
But yeah, anyway, so that was my first time, and it was a fun and fine story. So
yeah, I mean, whatever, right? Like we all have our story, unless you're a 40-year-old virgin, which in that case I feel bad for you. But
do you have crazy sex story?
I have many.
Okay, let's do the craziest place you've ever had sex, or where you think the craziest place.
The craziest place, probably with my first boyfriend in high school. When we were graduating, out front of the principal's office. Like it was nighttime, so my school did this thing where you camped out, like
like the end of the year, the grad prank type thing. Yeah,
and we all camped out, and in front of the office, and then
in a tent,
threw the condom at the window.
In a tent on the outside of the school, or were you inside the school?
No, we were outside. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if we were in a tent though. I think we were just on the lawn. And then there's been a few times like out in wilderness, like camping and crazy places, in the car, like normal shit like that.
Yes. I've done public on a beach.
Yeah, I've done that too. Not fun. You should public on a beach if you don't have something to lay down on. Sand in the vagina is. That's how you made your baby? In the sand? Yes. Damn.
Sorry,
UTI after that?
Sorry, Sterling. No.
Fuck.
No. Craziest place. I have my favorite sex story is with my first boyfriend, and which he knows this, but I'm so sorry. So I have a friend, and he is well off and has a very lovely home, and in this lovely home are several floors, and on these several floors there's things around, aka kitchens here and there. There's
kitchens.
Yeah, there's one in the basement, one upstairs, and there's ping pong tables, pool tables. So me and my first boyfriend, we slept over, and we started in a room with Peter. So sorry, but we started having sex beside Peter. and then I think it was me that was like, let's go have a pool table. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Then we went to the pool table.
Nice.
Went to the ping pong table.
Nice. All the tables.
Kitchen counter.
All the tables.
Stairs, and just worked our way
all around his house.
All around the house.
Well,
until we got to the observatory, and it was now in
observatory?
Which literally was just a room at the tippity top of the house that had only a gigantic telescope that looked over the town of Caledon. Wow. And everything, and then we just ended there, and by this point it was already morning, and everybody was waking up, and we had to go sneak, and it's funny because we were running around the house naked, but it was a party, so there was all our friends scattered sleeping everywhere, so it was like a little scavenger hunt,
just scavenger hunt, sex scavenger hunt, you don't know who you're gonna run into. That's great. That's a good one. I like that one.
That's definitely the
that's a good one for sure.
Resistance of my life, probably. Oh my goodness. I was gonna say, do you feel, which I know your answer, but just for everybody else, do you feel the need to have that emotional connection?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was
to have good sex. Yes.
So but to have it at all though?
No. I think there's definitely a big difference once you have that emotional connection with somebody. You get comfortable, and then the sex is so much better.
That's how there's always those episodes or movies or things, or even just regular people where they start getting self-conscious because but your ex-boyfriend was this and he was like this and this, but the connection, man,
exactly. And I mean, every single time you have sex with somebody for the first time, it's going to be awkward. I'm sorry, you can't fucking sit here and tell me the first time that you ever had sex with a new person, it was great. Come on now. Come on. How many times?
A good amount of mine.
Really?
I'm sorry, Steph. Yeah, a good amount of mine. I would say
I honestly don't. I think then you clearly don't need the connection then.
I think it's because I'm so emotionally connected prior to.
I guess
right?
so. Yeah,
like,
you do get emotionally invested very quickly.
Very invested. However, no, because I did when I went to Poland for like a random trip when I was like young and single. My goal was to find somebody and just fuck him, and I did. And I think because I was so in control of the situation, he was so like godsmacked by like this Canadian girl, just like
coming in, taking charge,
and like he was like, "You're wild." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy. Thank you very much."
See, I've had times where it's been like decent, you know, not like the best I've ever had, but like decent enough. But then once I am with that person for a longer period of time, then it gets 100% better.
Yeah, because you're learning each other's bodies.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Like you have to. And then you have that connection, you know, you can make the eye contact without it being awkward. You can tell them exactly what to do, what you like, what you don't like, which I think within the first few times, most people are afraid to do that.
I'm still bad with eye contact, but I'm bad with eye contact on all levels. It's very hard for me to really look somebody in the eye, and like for you, I feel very comfortable with you, I'm here with you, and that's fine.
Like, dialed in.
I just find it very hard. So during sex, and this is now again, I'm trying to understand: is it the person again that I'm with that like it's hard for me to connect with and open my eyes, because like I find that like when I sing, my eyes are closed most of the time because I'm just feeling it, and I
think that's fair too.
So like for me, it's hard to give
sometimes
you that.
when I want orgasm, I do have to close my eyes and really concentrate, and I can't be like like creepy fucking and him just like then I just like lose it. I'm like, oh, this is gross, get off me. Like
could you ever have a threesome?
No, I'm too possessive and jealous.
You were single?
If I was single, yeah. But if I was in a relationship with like say like my boyfriend and I, to have no. We've talked about that. We both are like, no, we wouldn't be able to witness that, knowing, being in love with you, doing like, you know what I mean? Like that just, we are very, very monogamous in that sense. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was single, I'd be like, fuck it, whatever. I've been propositioned a bunch of times by dudes, and I'm like, I've never done it because I just like.
Would it matter if it's two guys?
No.
One guy, one girl?
No, for whatever.
I'm the same as you. I don't think I would but in a relationship.
I honestly, I think it'd be way too hard.
But to me, if you're doing that in a relationship,
you're already too far gone.
Well, it's not that you're too far gone. I think that our relationship views are just different.
Absolutely. And then exactly, you both would have to be very, very open and very okay with that. But 9 times out of 10, one of the partners will lie and be like, yeah, I'm totally okay with it, and then be really fucking hurt afterwards. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it takes a strong personality, or like if you're into that, whatever floats your boat. If you're into the pineapples, you know, you ever heard of that? It's the fucking swingers. Go for it. My
friend was just prepositioned from somebody.
It's a fucking thing, man.
Do you have any sex fetishes or anything?
Nothing like crazy huge and weird. Just like the basic stuff.
I don't think our basics are
no, maybe
basics.
Not. I like ropes and stuff. Like that's fun. I've done like hot wax before. That was fun. I'm pretty much open to anything at this, other than like piss and shit, you know?
Yeah. So like, how do you feel about
just say it. We're already here. We're having
what's your perception on like the fact that people want to get shit and
I think it's gross. I don't know. Like whatever floats your boat, but like what happened to you as a child that makes you want feces all over you?
That in order to get off.
Like yeah, like I don't understand how that becomes you know? Like I don't understand how to put 2 and 2 together.
I don't either. Again, I do think it's also gross. Just for personally, I would never want that ever. Like,
I think it's like almost like a degrading it's
shit on me.
Yeah,
bitch.
like it's something degrading. Like that's what they like. They like feeling like degraded or diminished as a person, and just like
I guess like that sub-dom type thing. It's like it falls under the umbrella of
yes,
that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, see, I like even there's everybody likes their own thing.
Yeah. Whatever
know?
floats your boat, man. Fuck it.
I would say though, if you're a little vanilla, I do ask that you try a little chocolate sometimes, or rocky road. It's okay to
It's okay to experiment, Use a toy. Yeah. Use a fucking toy. And it's funny, my mom actually said this to me. She's like, why are so many men afraid of vibrators? She's like, a vibrator is a man's best friend.
Fuck yes. My ex was like, he bought me my first, second, third. Like he just always filled our box, and now I have a goodie box of like ropes, whips, handcuffs,
blindfolds. Did you ever try hot wax?
I did not, but I definitely would have.
Yeah. It's great. It's fun. It's good shit.
We've talked about this on another episode, but doing the like sex with the paint and have paint all over your body,
yes,
like a canvas.
Yes, that would be fun.
I'm also the same as you, very open. I definitely like romantic and nice, but I definitely like some rough.
Oh yeah, like bend me over, slam ass, and fuck me type thing. Yeah,
we don't have bite me on our butts for no reason. People.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Like
it's definitely. I think it's
there for a reason.
It takes obviously the first time you meet somebody, you don't want them to. I've had that experience before. Where it got to the point where I'm like, you need to get off of me. Like, you literally almost bit my fucking nipple off.
Okay, I was watching a podcast. I'm pretty sure it was my Stiff Socks podcast that I watch sometimes. And they every so often will have porn stars on. And they had a porn star that was explaining that the amount, like the thing that is the least consistent continuously is the sensitivity of nipples. They're
least consistent.
Like there is every single person has such a varied like.
Are your nipples sensitive?
Yes,
mine aren't.
But I'm give them a tug.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. Like I like.
But
that
there
play.
is a point that I'm like.
Well, I thought I was like my nipples had no fucking feeling until this dude, and I was like,
this dude.
No, not that dude. No, not that dude. That dude. He does. He always knows exactly. My boyfriend knows exactly where my nipples are.
Good. That's good that he knows where to find them.
No, like even with shirts on, like he'll just turn around and be like, boom.
You know why? Boom. We trained each other when we were in high school. I'm not even kidding. That was our game all the fucking time. We would be like, boop, and I would get it every time to the point that we were all so fucking good. It didn't matter what we were wearing. We could just. We get it every time.
Yeah, and he
funny
every time. Well, it's kind of annoying now, though. Not gonna lie, because then he's just all of a sudden like, I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you get him every single time? But yeah, no. Yeah. What's next?
Well, I was gonna say, like, do you think? Do you honestly think that sex sells?
Yes. 100% it does.
It does, and like,
well, I mean, look at our podcast, for instance.
We're talking about sex. Hey, let's see how good this one is.
Yeah, let's see how many views this one gets, because the last time we talked about orgasms, that was like our highest rated or highest viewed podcast, and we have podcasts, or we have episodes that have way better content in them than that one, right? So it just goes to show.
But do you think it sells just as much to women as it does to men?
No.
Yeah, I
don't think so. I think that men think with their penis most of the time. And I think they have been conditioned into the whole sex sells thing. Because that's how people target to men. Yeah. Put a pretty man or woman on, a billboard, and men are instantly like, ooh, catch your eye. You know what I mean? Because usually they're pretty fucking oblivious to everything.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's the idea of they see first.
They're visual.
Yeah.
They're visual, and we are more everything else.
Yeah. Let me hear you speak to me.
Yeah, exactly. Let me feel, touch. Listen, but they're very visual creatures.
It's true. Sex definitely does sell. I do think there is a difference between men versus women for sure. I'm like curious if it's going to change Because, like, to me, in the last 5, let's just stick with 5 years, there's been such a strong and powerful change in media and kind of what we're seeing and what is just like the whole spectrum of social media has really been changing in all aspects. The norm of what beautiful is changing, but that's the thing though, it was never, it shouldn't have ever been a norm. There should never been a norm.
And now there's all of the different types of genders, you know what I mean? Like that is becoming more prevalent in our ads.
Yeah, how are you going to like pinpoint what
exactly
is sexy?
You can't put a chick with big fucking titties on a Hooters poster anymore, and that is not going to appeal to everybody. Yeah, right?
They can put they
can and they will. But still.
But like, see, like restaurants like that, I just...
Actually, it's funny. Let's talk about Hooters, because I was talking with Tristan about that. And he was like, he said something about Hooters and I brought it up and I was like, he's like, would you ever work at Hooters? And I was like, no, I don't think I would. I find that fucking degrading, that your uniform has to be a literal piece of...
Yeah, but respectfully, what's the difference between that versus any sort of sex work? Like, really, in my head.
You're serving food. You're not selling sex. You're selling food. They're just using sex and your body to sell the food.
So it's their game plan. It's their you know.
Oh, obviously, and it works,
and it works.
I wouldn't want to be. If I was working in a restaurant, I would want to be working in a fucking restaurant. I wouldn't want to be working in a place where I'm being oogled, like as if I was a sex worker, where generally, I would hope that the sex workers make more money.
Well, this is my thought, is I'm curious to know if people who work at Hooters versus a fucking Applebee's, are you getting more tips?
I don't know. You could or you couldn't, right? Because you could get that table that doesn't necessarily like the way you look.
But a lot of times people are coming in, like, are they coming in? Are the people that are coming to Hooters, are they the type of people that are going to tip you? I don't know.
See, that's the thing. They might not. Right? They might be those type of men that just go there to... boobies and chicken wings. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but no, it's funny. We were having that conversation. Made me think of it. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think I would. If I was going to work in a fucking restaurant, I'd work in a restaurant. Yeah. I'd work in any other restaurant where I could wear a fucking uniform. Yeah. And not spill hot food all over my fucking tits. But it's funny because
even things like Moxie's, if anybody remembers or knows.
Oh, yeah, they had short skirts too.
But Moxie's, they had specific, like they couldn't, their hair has to be down. They have to wear makeup. They have to wear heels. They have to wear the tight skirts, and they can't wear pants. And like there was rules to that. So, I mean, it's my thought is you're going in knowing. You should know what is expected of you.
Absolutely.
And with that job, you are using sex to sell the food, product, to sell to your client. Like
you. I hope you would know going in, and you would be ready for the type of treatment that I'm sure you would receive. Yeah,
but even in my place of work at a bank.
Yeah, but can you imagine if?
Oh, I know.
Right?
Ogled and boggled. My God.
If your tits and ass were out, and you were there, for people to look at, right?
The objectification of it, right? Yeah. Well, that's the thing about sex. Sex sells. You're just objectifying. It's not. It's
there's at some point sex became so unromanticized.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It just became about
the look,
and maybe the porn industry kind of did that, because I mean, honestly, a lot of porn is super unrealistic. Like no, I'm sorry.
Porn is crazy.
Nobody sounds like that the entire time.
But maybe they do, Steph. I mean, there's a lot of people in this fucking world.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But a lot of it's very, very fake.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Come on.
My favorite is, just a side note, my favorite is like, I love people that write comments on porn. Like,
yeah, you ever go through
the porn videos?
You need to stop. In and out, one stop shop, in and out. Why are you there commenting? Is it like YouTube for you? Do you have like, your playlists and your recently viewed, and then recommended.
Do you need porn in order to masturbate or do anything like that for yourself?
No, for myself, no. I don't need it. I enjoy it sometimes, but I don't need it. It just gets the job done quicker, you know? For sure. But don't need it.
You ever watched porn with your partners?
A few times. Yeah.
Helps with the sex?
No. I don't think so. Because once again, it's like still pretty...
I just think that men and women, when it comes to sex, are just so interesting, so different. I just think it's funny. Like,
do you think it helps?
No,
exactly. It's funny, and then it makes it awkward, and you're laying there and you're like watching this porn, and it's like
men need to watch lesbian sex.
Yes. Oh yes, because then
and
you will figure out.
Watch it for the reason that you're wanting to watch it. Watch it for an educational purpose, and you'll be great. But also, I've been coming across lots of things on my TikTok that have been pointing like. Just like ways to better sex, like putting a pillow under your butt.
Yes, that's a huge deal. Ever done that before?
I have not.
Oh, girl, it's the angle.
Yeah,
it's
so but trust me, I've like saved that in. I'm like ready.
I've had to do that all of a sudden, like and like put. I was like, what the? How have I never? What? Oh my god!
What is this?
Yeah, like it's yeah. Save that one for your next boyfriend.
I'm saving it. But like that's the thing, right? Like I just don't. To me, it's hilarious. I think sex is funny when it comes to men, and I think it's sad that there's such a drastic thing. What?
Yes, I'm sorry. This actually makes me want to talk to you about this.
Okay.
So I love you for hooking for hooking me up with your best friend, and he's the love of my life and all this stuff. But I'm sorry, Tristan. I love you so much. But he's very mainly that way, right? He just thinks that like he'll come over and like dry hump me or something, and then he's like, "You want to have sex?" Okay, I'm like, I feel like all women's heart just broke there. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody just heard the glass shatter, and like, we all know.
There. Yeah.
Right? And I will say to him, I'm like, sweetheart, I love you so much, but that's not going to do it for me.
So this is key. This is key. So if you're a man and you're listening and you think you have game, you don't, and you need to listen because I'm telling you right now, a flick of a tit
is not going to get us
a slap on the ass.
Nope.
A grab, a pull you. There is such a difference.
Such a difference
to that versus a hand.
Oh my god, that is literally what I told him. I was like, why? Come here. I was like, you know what you need to do?
Yes. Take charge in a section.
And he goes like this. Pats my head aggressively, and I'm like,
no,
are you no, how do you not? And I'm like looking at him like, how do you not understand? He's like, well, I'm a man, I think differently. And I was like, well, do you want me to be into it? Yeah. Then you gotta realize that I need these things to get into it.
And that's the thing, because like I don't men and women do not. This is very important. Men and women do not. Okay. So Steph is definitely a hornier person than I am, for sure.
Yeah, I would say so.
Maybe that'll change as I'm in relationships and fine. Yeah. But during her single time, she was having a great time.
Mm-hmm. I was.
For great old time. I don't give shit. I'm good by myself. Tubular over here. Mm-hmm. So for that reason, I thought she would be somewhat like a man, and excuse me, but I assumed you'd be somewhat like a man, be like, I don't need to be I nestled and stuff. I'm just like, give it to me, like I want
I mean sometimes here and there, yes, but I also like all of that sex is it was not great, and it was meaningless because it wasn't with somebody that I really loved.
But men and women, men can just like once it's they're in the mood,
once their penis goes up, they're
ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like that for women.
Nope.
A lot of the times we really do need to have some sort of foreplay or attention to make us get in the mood.
And I've told him that. I'm like, like little teasing throughout the day. It doesn't have to be like, you can't expect us to like all of a sudden just like maybe sometimes, yeah, but like, come on, boy. What the fuck?
I'm sorry for that.
It's okay. He's learning.
We'll work on it.
He's learning.
I say we because I will brutally murder him after and just be like, you need to pick up your Game Boy.
Because, he's very, like, man.
And it's funny because that miscommunication breaks people up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
With my ex and I, it became a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you just don't want to have sex with me.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So that's why I try and bring it up. Like, no, you have to understand that that's great for you if you can just, flick my tit and be good to go. But that's not gonna work for me.
No,
you can't come over ear hump me and be like, you want to have sex, and expect me to be totally into it and have a grand old time and orgasm. Like, it's not gonna happen.
No,
sorry, dude.
I want to say a funny story that my best friend, she told me this once, and I just thought it was the best thing ever. So she has a very fine looking husband, and he's a tough guy. He's a family guy. He's a good guy. And I guess it was her and him. Kids were in bed. They were sitting on the couch watching some TV. He was just in his like pajama pants, and they heard a noise outside, and he reaches down, pulls out a baseball bat from under the couch and fucking whips it over his shoulder and goes to the front door. And she's like, wow, I have never been more turned on in my life.
Yeah.
So like that moment of just protectiveness, take
absolutely.
Take that and just realize that, like,
absolutely,
what can trigger us being like,
absolutely.
Wow, oh, look at you being a man.
Wow, you don't have to be taken care of, and you don't need your lunch made and your laundry done.
Does that baseball bat do anything else?
Yeah, exactly.
But
I love it.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
This thing today.
Things are just not staying today.
But I think that's a really good point. The like foreplay is important.
It's very important
for women, for sure.
I feel like maybe for some men too. Like it's you. Yes, don't get me wrong. Sometimes bend me over, slap my ass, fuck me, but make that intentional. Make it intentional if you're going to do that.
I had the most recent that I was seeing. So he's never done really anything spicy.
He's vanilla.
He's a little vanilla, and I was the bad one, which made me feel really like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was fun to be the bad one.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, I had to explain to him, like, I do like the hair pulled. I do like a good, like, choking here and there. Yeah. Good ass to back. Yeah. So there was, and he's like, oh, I've never been tied up. He's like, I wonder if I would like that. And I'm like, oh, I bet you would.
Yeah.
So this man, like, I can tell you there is a difference between that kind of small relationship that I had with him, short-lived relationship, by the way that he was the way that he teased and played was so great. There was one day, it was days, weeks, whatever, after us having that initial conversation of kind of my kinks and what I like and stuff like that, and that open conversation with him, and we were making out and we were having fooling around, and then he's like, let's test this, and starts pulling my hair. He's like, tell me when, and like what. Ooh. Yeah, and then he's like, oh, let's test this, and go around my neck. He's like, okay, and like, to him,
he's trying to learn, which is so amazing. He was learning for you, not just for him.
But it was also turning him on because he was he was having this sort of power that he's never had before. Yeah. So like, it can become a really like just great thing and connection wise with your partner to.
Oh, absolutely. You got to learn each other's bodies
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think when she read this question, she thought it was funny, but like, is sex cool? This is my thing, and she's like, what the fuck? What is that question? Because I was taking it as like, when you're a kid, I thought sex was like so cool. Like, you had to be cool.
Yeah, and like you had to be a certain age to like lose your virginity.
Only cool
people. Only the cool people were having sex. I don't know. Sex is great. Sex is cool now that I know what sex is. But it's not cool.
And what you can do with it and what you can learn from it.
Yes, but it's not cool in that sense. It's not cool as in like it makes you cooler if you're having a lot of sex.
I think that the idea of sex being cool is the same way as smoking is cool.
Yes.
It's not actually.
Yes, exactly.
But
it's just it's like it makes you appear to be cooler if you're doing this one thing. Yeah.
Which I think is funny because, again, as you get older, it loses the like
appeal
and spark of it.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's the case for again, everybody. Like, I do think that men would be like, I had sex today. Like,
yeah, maybe.
I know, but I would also, like, if I ever had sex, like, being where I am in life, I would text her and be like, yo, I fucked.
I just had sex. Yeah.
She's like, wow, good for you.
But now I don't tell you.
I mean, I've also asked you to. I've also set boundaries because he's my best friend and like a brother.
Makes it weird.
There was sometimes you were crossing those. I didn't need to know about his shit sometimes. I was gonna ask, do you think that it feels different, like for women at different times in the month?
Yes,
because of our cycles and
100%.
stuff. Because they've always said that sex on your period is the best.
Oh, it's the fucking best.
I genuinely don't know if I can pinpoint the difference during my time.
There's also the time when you're really, really horny. I think it's when you're like ovulating,
like day 14, isn't that
something like that, where you will notice that you are way more horny, and you're like, it feels way better because you just like want it way more.
I just don't know if I'm in tune to that part of me.
You should get the Flow app. I have that. It tracks all of your stuff. So, but yeah, I find I love sex during my period. It helps me with my cramps. I don't really have a heavy flow anyway, so it's not like crazy gross. Or
have you seen just recently on TikTok? Did you see it?
That,
yeah. So you can. It's like this woman, and she talks about sex,
and like periods and vaginas and things,
all that great stuff. And she was showing. Is it called a dam? Is it a dental dam? I think it's a dental dam.
Yeah.
And so I've heard that term several times throughout my life. Never cared to look it up or even figure out what it was. Yeah. Until this lady, which if that's what it is, I'm blown away because I did not know it was that.
Right.
But a dental dam apparently is if you have your period, it's just like a sheet that like
it almost looks like
to me it looks like
a shower curtain.
Oh,
one of those plastic shower curtains, but thinner.
Yeah, I'm seeing like a wax paper, like wax
it's
paper.
Stretchy, I think.
Probably more stretchy, has more give to it, but the feel of it looks to me like a wax paper.
Yeah,
from the
maybe.
Anyway, so you just put it over and you just still go to town, but it like is blocks
all the blood and stuff.
Like a fucking dam. It is a dental dam. That's why it's called a dental dam. Oh my god, the dental. I don't like that part. We don't need that.
With the whole teeth thing.
You don't need that.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that I wouldn't expect my partner to do.
No, if they don't, if they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel comfortable, and that's fine. It's not something I need.
No, especially during the period.
Do you find that there are things that you need in sex in order to feel satisfied? You need to be.
I need the licky. Yeah, I need the licky. I need it. I mean,
I think I need it too, but I'm bad because I don't love giving it.
Well, then, you are bad because you got to give to receive and receive to give.
Fair enough. But again, I'm just hoping it was because of the partner, not me. I don't know.
I mean, that could be it. Maybe you'll get somebody with a smaller peepee and it'll be easier.
That's nice for my partner to say that he had a...
Well, there you go. I'm giving him a compliment, right?
Great.
Yeah. But, if you had a smaller one, you wouldn't feel so bad about it.
I don't want a smaller one.
Well, then
I don't want
get over it. Lick it like a lollipop, bitch.
I think it was just aggressive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you what about like how there was I remember in the 90s it was so sex, drugs, rock and roll, like again the sex sells type thing, because that's when I really was coming out, because I also think that's when the porn industry was really hitting and like the internet came out, so it was just like everything was blowing up in regards to sex. Do you think sex, like some people can't have sex without being drunk or high or on anything?
Yes, that is a thing too.
Does that make a difference to you? Would you care if yes, you would care if your partner could not fuck you without...
Oh, absolutely, I would care.
Because that's a problem.
That's a big deal.
Problem.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I think that, that would tie into like you have addiction issues. If you cannot just have sex without having some sort of mask on.
I used to think that like I thought sex felt better.
I mean, there's certain drugs that do amplify it, right?
But like even on weed, like I would just be like, this feels Because again, even with weed, I think everything's a little more.
It's a little bit heightened. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then sometimes even with like booze, it's not as fun because then it's like
you're not paying attention.
You're not paying attention. You're all over the place.
Sloppy
work. Exactly.
Yeah. So you don't need that shit. We don't need that shit.
No.
You don't
I think it's fun, but I think like when you're sober,
have a fun drunken night. Like
it's absolutely so fun. But to be sober is a little bit more fun because you are fully there.
Yeah.
Your mind, your body, and your soul. You're fully there to experience it.
Have you seen like I've been really intrigued because again, like because of my, I guess, no, I don't want to say issues with sex, but like my, you know, not so care of it. I've been like so intrigued of those. It's like sex work where people, not prostitution or anything like that, but it's where you and your partner are, you know, just your bodies connected into each other and you are not actually having any sort of sex. There's not any sort of movement or anything. You're just there embracing each other and you're like trying to just feel each other's bodies and you hold each other in different ways to like feel connection and your energies together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to like just explore that with a partner because I think that's a way to just really again get more connected and then that just makes everything else stronger and more enjoyable.
Oh, absolutely. It's about connection, baby. About connection. Well, we've been talking for a while. We have 56 minutes.
Wow, shit.
Look at that. We were afraid we weren't going to talk very long. We always do that.
I don't know why we
every time. Music today. Yeah, music today. We are featuring Donald Glover. Which is his rap name, Childish Gambino. So he's American rapper. He got his start on 30 Rock, I believe, as an actor. Community. But I also think he's in 30 Rock. Could be wrong though.
I don't know. I know him from
Community. He's definitely in Community.
Which great. Once he left,
went to shit.
Yeah, fuck you, Community.
Yeah. Oh, look it up here now.
You want to?
No, it popped up with Donald Trump. That's not who we want.
Oh, boo.
Gross. Oh yeah, he was a writer for 30 Rock.
Oh.
Yeah, he was hired at age 23 by Tina Fey as a writer. Yeah, and then he went on to Community, and
I think that was it. And that time is when he started. But he's great.
He's super great. He's actor, comedian, singer, rapper, writer, producer, director. He's also a very sexy man, attractive man. So yeah, check him out.
Got a little clip up.
But yeah, so
that was our talk of sex.
Yeah, I mean, and if you have any questions from two gals,
we'd love to hear your first time story.
Yes, we would love it. So
we won't share.
No,
but you will when you post it. So like,
so it depends on if you know.
Just tell us.
But let's talk about sex, baby. Right? Like, come on, just have the convo. It's everybody does it for the most part, unless you're like not into it,
which is fine
too. But then talk about that. Talk about how you're not into it. Yeah. Make everybody educated.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to do here. Educate.
But
on that note, let's boogie.
Catch you on the flip side.